Everybody reads right to left. Right on. So, yeah, big news in the NFC North today, Russ. And I know this is one that you and I talked about earlier today, and we were like, wow, our jaws dropped. Minnesota Vikings signing wide receiver, all-world wide receiver Justin Jefferson to the largest non-quarterback contract in NFL history. He becomes the highest-paid wide receiver by a mile and the most guaranteed money by a non-quarterback contract in history as well. The contract is for 4 years, $140 million. That, folks, if you're wondering, that's $35 million a year. The guaranteed money is where this really hits home. $110 million guaranteed, most guaranteed money by a wide receiver. Russ, what's your first reaction to Justin Jefferson getting the bag?
I mean, to stay true to who I am, he was next. He was the guy that was, I mean, he's been clamoring he should get the best and biggest contract. And gosh, you know, I think that Kwesi has to be given some credit for this because you have to sign your best guys. And y'all can argue about, you know, oh, it's too much money. I can't believe it. But here's the thing. The salary cap goes up. And what are you going to do? Let him go? I mean, he's the best wide receiver in football. And you just drafted a rookie quarterback. So you're saving money on the quarterback position for a few years. So get it done, man. I think it's a great move. I don't really praise Kwesi all that much, but I don't mind this at all, man. Get it done. Sign your best players.
And speaking of getting it done, this contract took over a year to negotiate the contract. And, you know, taking so long like that, the way the Vikings do, and I love that you're giving some flowers for Kwesi. I still think he's the worst, by far the worst GM in this entire division.
Sure.
Maybe one of the worst I've ever seen. By taking so long cost you so much money because you're going to set the market. JJ's going to set the market. No doubt. He's the best wide receiver in the league. I think you can get 9 out of 10 football fans to agree with that. So, by taking so long, now the bar keeps raising. A.J. Brown, wow, got this much money. Whoa, now Amon-Ra St. Brown gets this much money. Now you're setting the bar. And guess what? The Bengals, you're bumming now. You know who else is bumming? The Dallas Cowboys. Now you're bumming because now that $35 million has been set, you think CeeDee Lamb doesn't want that next? You doggone right he is. And I love this move by the Minnesota Vikings to hamstring this franchise at $35 million a year. I understand, Russ. The salary cap goes up. I get it. And they're on a rookie contract deal. I get it. There's a window there that they can make this work. But you and I both know you don't get 4 max contracts on a team. You get 3. So they're going to have to figure out where the other's going to come from when they start signing people. They've saved a lot of money in other areas to be able to make this deal happen. They got rid of Danielle Hunter and all that money, brought in a much cheaper, younger option in Jonathan Greenard. Nice move, Kwesi. But waiting for over a year, you lose a couple points here because I think you cost yourself upwards of $10 million by waiting so long to get this deal done.
I can agree with that. Maybe they could have gotten it done a little bit cheaper, but at the end of the day, he wanted to hold out to be the highest paid wide receiver, and he is going to be. And I don't think that CeeDee Lamb is going to eclipse his. I think all these contracts are going to fall right into this. They're definitely going to be over $30 million for anybody that signs here. And look at the guaranteed money. I was a little bit off on my guaranteed money a little bit earlier because I thought that everybody else had, but Jalen Waddle was just under Amon-Ra's guarantee. Amon-Ra got $77 million guaranteed, and Waddle I think got like $70 million guaranteed.
76 for Jalen Waddle.
Say 76. So it's right there. They're all going to be right there in that pocket. DJ Moore is probably a guy that, if Chicago's looking to the future, are you going to be able to keep him? You just drafted Odunze. You're going to be losing Keenan Allen. CeeDee Lamb, Jamar Chase he's going to need a new deal. I'm sure Devontae Adams went, wait a minute here. I thought I was the best wide receiver. So getting this done earlier rather than later is always going to be the best move when it comes to this, because you don't want to go into the season with unsurety. You don't want training camp and all that. You don't want that headache in there. So kudos to Quezzy. I don't, because I'm not going to give him too much credit because, he hasn't done a lot of things good, but you had to get this deal done.
You had to
back it up, back that Brinks truck up, and make sure that Justin Jefferson, your best player, is signed to a long-term contract.
Right. You like that? Quezzy's made some bad moves. And like we were saying, you're not going to get 4 max contracts, but you can do it with 3. But in order to make 3 work for you, you've got to hit on late round draft picks. You've got to infuse young talent that didn't cost you a lot of money. Then they have to produce for you above their value. They have to produce in order for you to even run 3 max contracts. And what we've seen the Vikings do is not that. They have not drafted well. They've given up draft capital. Last year, they paid Danielle Hunter $16 million for nothing. They already had him under contract and gave him the money anyway and allowed him to have a no franchise tag clause in the deal.
Right.
So they haven't made the moves to be able to make 3 max contracts work. Like you said, though, Russ, good thing they have a quarterback on rookie deal for the next 4 years so they can get that worked out. Let's see what we got in the comments today. Who's here today? Our good friend Donkey Kong. Welcome to the show. John is in the house. Scott. Joseph is in the house. He says Quezzy only seems bad because Brad took him for a ride. No, he's bad because he's bad, Joseph. The Danielle Hunter thing that he did was bad. I think it was bad move this year, too, when he jumped up over one team, gave up a bunch of draft capital, including a 3rd-round pick, to move up 1 spot to get J.J. McCarthy. The other team was laughing because they weren't even going to take him. We get the video later. They weren't even going to take him. So you got fleeced. You got beat at the game. So, no, he's just bad. Corey's in the house. He says, how are the Cowgirls going to pay Lamb, Dak Wright, and Micah Parsons? There's your trilogy. There's your 3 max contracts. Yep. Who's going to run the ball is a good question there. Our good friend Steve, the best Packer fan in the land, is here as well. Theo, what's up? And Theo and John. They need to hope and pray J.J. McCarthy can step into the league quick enough. Darnold is not the answer. Maybe not, but I think Sam Darnold is serviceable, and we will talk about that today because we're going to be ranking the top 11 QBs in the NFC here in a minute. Get through the rest of these comments here. Yep. Donald Miner says, who's going to be the Lions' backup quarterback? I don't think there's any doubt that's going to be Hendon Hooker. Don't you think, Russ?
Oh, yeah. 100%. I mean, he's actually been taking a lot of the snaps, first team, second team. Like they're giving him every opportunity to go out there, and he's progressing.
And the meme queen, Elise Memes, in the house today. Hey, dudes, the countdown to the season begins. What's our countdown number at, Russ? 95?
I don't know which one came out today. I know that we're going to count down every day. I got a piece of content coming out every day. We're going to count it down piece by piece. I think like 96 days or something like that.
95, 96 days till kickoff.
Somewhere in there.
Right. Coming up on September the 8th. That's the Sunday night game as Matt Stafford comes back to Ford Field. Don't bring the kids this time. One last thing about Justin Jefferson. Like I said, I love that they did this deal he didn't have to go that much. Here's another thing about Quezzy. He didn't have to go 35, Russ. He eclipsed Tyreek Hill by $5 million. I mean, they cushioned it. They padded it. They could have made it.
Want to play in. I mean, why would you want to play in Minnesota?
Because you're getting $81 million.
Well, outside there you go. There's why the money. You were like, hey, why did they give?
But they even went further than they needed to go. They took a year to go over what they had to get. I just think that this Brad Holmes would never have made this deal.
Hey, F you, pay me. I don't care. You're going to pay me.
Right. And I'm going to be honest, all this talk, they were talking about trading him, getting on it so they didn't have to pay this, let someone else pay this contract. I was inside going, yeah, please get him out of our division. Please get him out. Jordan Addison is an up and coming stud as well. So they're going to have quite the tandem out there. And then KJ Osborne, the third. That's a nice trio of wide receivers in Minnesota. Sam Darnold throwing him the ball, though. Is Sam Darnold one of the best QBs in the NFC? Well, Russ and I are going to take you down that road, my friends, and we're going to do a top 10 list of the best QBs in the NFC. But we're musicians, so ours go to 11. The top 11 QBs in the NFC. So there are 16 starting. Okay, go ahead, Russ.
Oh, yeah. Ours get to 11. Hey, we're just going to be that way. You know, everybody, I think top 10 lists are boring. Everybody does a top 10 list. It's not boring.
Ours go to 11.
Ours go to 11. We do the top 11. So what do we, I mean, but there's more than 11 quarterbacks.
16 starting quarterbacks in the NFC. And I shall read their names off to you now. Shall I, Russ? Should I read the names or should we just jump into it? Let's read the names.
You just jump. You go ahead and read the names.
Let's read the names. Kyler Murray, Brock Purdy, Matt Stafford, Geno Smith. That's the NFC West. You've got Dak Prescott, Jaden Daniels, Daniel Jones, and Jalen Hurts. That's your NFC East. And you've got Baker Mayfield, Bryce Young, Kirk Cousins, and the bum, Derek Carr. That's the NFC South. And then you've got the NFC North with Jared Goff, Caleb Williams, Jordan Love, and Sam Darnold penciled as the starter for Minnesota. So that's your 16 starting quarterbacks. We are going to rank them top 11, and I want you out there to rank them as well. Put it in the comments. Let us know what you think. We love to read your comments. We love to hear what you say. Put it in the comments. Give us your list. Top 11 NFC
11
quarterbacks. The top 11, not 12, not 10, 11.
It's 11. Well, our list goes to 11, Mike.
That's a Spinal Tap reference for all you youngins.
That's right. We're only here to help. Okay.
So the only way we can get to 11 from 16 is to whack 5 names. So we got to whack 5 names. So we got to start it off here, Russ. You got to look into your little crystal ball there and tell me who's the first name, who will be whacked off the list that doesn't make the top 11. Who's in the bottom 5 NFC quarterbacks? Give me the first name.
All right. I mean, since we're doing old movie references, before I do, I'll go. And one guy that has to be whacked that I have to talk about just because you kept the wrong guy, okay? You let the right guy go to the New York Giants, which was Saquon Barkley. So, I have to whack right off the top right there. I got to put in Daniel Jones, $45 million a year. Back up.
Hey, wait, put that back up. Did I see a big X go over him? That's awesome. What's the gangster guy? Hey, I took care of that thing for you.
Right there. If you remember that, fellas, that's Pete the Killer. That's Pete the Killer. We got Pete the Killer. That's right. We have
Danny Dimes gets whacked. I love that call, Russ. Danny Dimes gets whacked. They give the franchise tag to Saquon Barkley, which disgruntled him, and they signed Daniel Jones to essentially $40.2 million a year.
So we got him whacked.
If you're Saquon Barkley, though, don't you take that personally that you decided to give this guy $40 million and you give me a franchise tag that's 10, and you know damn well you could put John, or what's his name, DeVito. DeVito came in and won some games for you because of me, because of Saquon Barkley, because of me. You won, and you give him $40 million just for that. I'm going to go sign with the Eagles just to piss you off. So I agree with this call. Daniel Jones, whack.
Took care of that thing for you.
All right. So
next one. I'm going to give you a name to whack now off the list. Let's see here.
We're having fun right here. Who's a name? Who's your name out there? You guys need to get your own name of whack names.
Now, I know I'm going to go with old Cinderblock head himself, Sam Darnold from the Minnesota Vikings. Sam Darnold, look at that head. Gee whiz. Sam Darnold might be better than J.J. McCarthy right now. He might be better than Joshua Dobbs right now. I don't think Sam Darnold is a slouch. When the Lions went into Carolina, Sam Darnold torched the Lions, okay? He had some bad teams in New York with the Jets, real bad teams, and he was mid. So I think there's a chance that Sam Darnold could be good. We just haven't seen it yet. And for all of y'all playing at home, I want to tell you the rules for this. This is let's say you're a rookie like Caleb Williams or Jaden Daniels. We are taking your situation that you're in right now as a rookie. Okay. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers is a vet, right? He's in the AFC, but he's a vet. So would you take Aaron Rodgers right now in this situation? Yes. Or would you take Caleb Williams because he's so young? Well, because Caleb Williams is so young, obviously you'd rather have Aaron Rodgers this year. So that's how you have to look at this. You would take Aaron Rodgers this year over Caleb Williams, not because we're only talking about a 1-year sample this year with the team you have. Where do you rank on this list? That's the rules as we continue to play.
Yeah, I apologize for that. I kind of jumped us out there and we didn't really establish that. And thank you, Mike, for making sure that was in there. Yes, it is just for this current year right here, their current situation. We understand that having Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels and all these rookie quarterbacks is probably going to be your better bet for the future. But we're talking, how good are you this year? So we're whacking these guys, and that's a great call right there with Sam Darnold. You know, like Sam Darnold, he's like the only one that isn't even a starting quarterback. He wasn't a starting quarterback last year. I mean, they're really asking him to bridge the gap. So yeah, that's a great call right there.
Who's the next name to get whacked?
Well, I got to go with a kid that's probably going to be dead by week 5 because he weighs 160 pounds and he's 4'11". So I'm going to have to go with Bryce Young. He's in the worst situation ever. And even if he was talented, it wouldn't matter because they're a dumpster fire down there. They're trying to turn it around. Ben Johnson wouldn't even go down there for a head coaching job. I don't want to run this piece of crap right here. I'd rather be second in charge on a winning team than to go down there. So I'm going to have to go with
is whacked. Yeah. I don't know. I was looking for Bryce Young and he was there the whole time. I just didn't see him. So Bryce Young, the next name to be taken off. Oh, look over here. I see here in the comments, we got KC Robinson says Bryce isn't ready. He's got to go.
Yeah.
All right. I love that.
He's whacked. We got
to carry that thing for you.
Okay. We got Pete the Killer's in here. He's whacking him. Hey, that bad quarterback whacker guy.
Carry that thing for you.
Thank you, Pete the Killer. Who do you got? Who do you got right here? I mean, you want me to go again?
No, it's my turn.
Oh, okay. You're like, he ain't even messing around, folks.
So I don't care if you won the Heisman Trophy. You're a rookie, so that puts you behind the 8 ball already. But when you go into a dumpster fire of an organization like the Commanders, you're going to get whacked on this list, okay? So Jaden Daniels, him and his mutant elbow, he's going to be a bust. I think he's going to be the next Justin Fields. I really do. I didn't think you watch it when he played in Arizona. Not real impressive. He made a lot of strides in LSU, but maybe he can be something down the road. But right now, he's a running quarterback. He's RG3. He's Justin Fields reincarnated. I just don't see a bright future for him because it's going to take so long to build around him. He sounds like a great kid, though. Jaden Daniels does, so I'm rooting for him. But right now, he's not in the top 11 in the NFC.
And I have to agree with you on that. I mean, really, when we were talking about this, coming up with these lists, it was like we were pretty lockstepped right here. And that's what it is. The Commanders they're not good. And we're talking about right here, right now. This kid's not getting drafted into a good situation like a Caleb Williams or somebody that's got a little bit more of a foundation that's built around before you're dropping him in. So this poor guy, he's going to go in there. So you, sir, Jaden Daniels, you're going to have to go ahead.
You noted that the Commanders also have Jacoby Brissett. Jacoby Brissett may become the starter, but even if he is, he's still not in the top 11 in the NFC, so it's a moot point. What's next? So who's next?
Well, okay, this is where you and I may differ right here, but I mean, Kyler Murray is another one of these like 5-foot quarterbacks right here, and Arizona. I mean, I don't know about Arizona out there. They haven't really been very good. So I was going to put, a Kyler Murray in here into this whacked spot.
There's only one spot left for the whack, though. It's got to be for the bum, right?
What about? Kyler Murray hasn't really shown that much lately, has he?
He took his team to a playoff.
But
he's got Marvin Harrison Jr. now. He's got a running game.
I don't know. Really, you're gonna who
I
you talking about as the bum?
I cannot put Derek Carr in the top 11. I'm sorry, he's a bum. He's not even the best quarterback in it. He's not even the best quarterback in his own family. I can't put Derek Carr on this list in the top 11. What did you have Kyler Murray getting whacked and leaving Carr in the list on the top 11?
Yeah, but he's probably, Kyler Murray's out there playing Modern Warfare or something like that. I don't even know if he's going to make it to training camp. But you feel pretty passionately about Derek Carr right here. What do you guys think out there? We got Derek Carr and Kyler Murray right here, making the final cut right there. But I got to give that to you right there. I was thinking maybe, Alvin Kamara, but, they got a lot of aging people. That team might be on its way out with a bunch of cap problems and not continuity. And, Kyler Murray, I didn't think about that. I'm a Buckeye. So Marvin Harrison Jr. out there, I can deal with that. We'll go ahead and we're going to whack Derek Carr. You want to whack Derek Carr?
That's my quarterback.
Absolutely.
All right, Pete the Killer.
Took care of that thing for you.
Thank you, Pete.
Took care of that thing for you.
So now we actually got into this spot, Mike. We actually have 11 quarterbacks. We whacked 5 guys. Let's give them a recap, Mike.
So let's recap where Mike got wrong because KC called me out. He's right. Jacoby Brissett is a Patriot. It's Marcus Mariota that's the backup to Jaden Daniels in
Super
in the
Mario.
Commanders. So good call, Casey. Thank you. And either way, Mariota would get the whack as well. And I'm glad Derek Carr didn't make the list. So that means that Kyler Murray does make the list as the 11th ranked QB in the NFC by the Villain Squad here. And if you haven't followed us over on Facebook yet, please follow the page. It's Lions Villain Squad on Facebook. We're over 51,000 followers now. And we also have a group called Lions Main Event. It's a nice, clean group. There's no ads. There's no scammers. And you can subscribe to our YouTube at Villain Squad on YouTube. We really, really appreciate it. It helps us out. And I see I got 20 people watching on the platform I'm on, and only 9 people have clicked the like button. So if you could click the like or the heart or the puke button or something, just push a button. And it kind of helps us out a little bit. We really, really do appreciate it. And
we like the conversation right there. If you can see right there on there, we want your comments in there. Do you guys agree with us so far? As our recap, we've whacked Daniel Jones. We don't like that situation. We whacked Sam Darnold because, these are unstable situations. We don't know what's going on. And for the present time, these guys are getting whacked. We whacked Derek Carr because Mike just thinks he's a bum.
He's a bum.
He's a bum. And who else? And Jaden Daniels, because that's just not a good situation. That's not a good situation. Mariota may end up being the starter coming out. We don't know these things. So that's why they got whacked. We're only doing the NFC. Good
evening, Ken. Good evening, Dwayne. Mike the Bear fan in the house. Don't forget, we're also broadcasting live on Roku, the Huddle Sports Network on Roku. You can check us out there if you have a Roku TV. All right. Roy is in the house. Good evening, Roy. Davey in the house. Great to see you as well. Carr's not on anybody's list.
Well, he's on our list to get whacked.
Took care of that thing for you.
Thank you, Pete the Killer.
So that puts Kyler. So that puts
Unaliver. I'm sorry,
Yes.
I shouldn't be saying it's Pete the Unaliver.
You can't even say that on Facebook.
We're not gonna. Well, I can't print it on Facebook. I don't know if we can say it on Facebook, but
Jason's in the house. Says good morning. I don't know where you're at, Jason. It's evening here, but hey, good morning to you, sir. All right.
Pete the Unaliver.
Took care of that thing for you.
Thank you, Pete, for getting us down to 11.
That's the sports. That's the huddle. on Roku TV and Fire Stick. All right. So number 11 is Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray.
For the Arizona Cardinals. He's got Marvin Harrison now. He's got a running game with James Conner. They also drafted a running back. And they made a couple nice additions on defense. They drafted Darius Robinson, the edge rusher. They're probably going to suck. They're probably going to come in last in their division. But I'd put Kyler Murray on my team as the quarterback before any of these other 5 guys that we just knocked off this list.
Right. And you know what? We actually agree right here. I believe that. I mean, but I will have you know that even though Kyler Murray is ranked 11 on our list, I do believe that he's ranked 3 in the world in Modern Warfare. Just so you know, he is up there. He's getting up in stats.
Right. So
yeah.
Whatever you do, Russ, we don't want to keep repeating the phrase "whack these guys." Whack these. We don't want to keep saying "whack these guys" because then Mike the Bear fan will take a soundbite of that and put that all over the internet of us going "whack these guys."
All right. So for this next, that we have a group of a couple quarterbacks that we're going to hit next right here, where we've kind of agreed in what the 3 guys are, but maybe we're a little bit different on here. So let's take a look at some of these guys, because I didn't think we were going to get a rookie in here, Mike, but there it is. You got Caleb Williams, Geno Smith, and Tampa Baker Mayfield right there. So, where are you at? I mean, yeah.
Well, this is Russ and I have these guys 8, 9, and 10. It's just where are they slotted 8, 9, and 10. So put those pictures up again. Let's take a good look and make up our minds here what we're going to do. You've got Caleb Williams. Yes, he's a rookie, but watch the tape on him. Kid's electric. Okay, he keeps his eyes downfield, great pocket awareness. He's got a trio of killer receivers. He's got I would not say great, but very good, solid tight ends, and a trio of running backs, Khalil Herbert, Roshan Johnson, and DeAndre Swift, who give you a little bit of everything. A little thunder, a little lightning, catching out of the backfield. Some nice weapons set up for Caleb Williams. This is how he makes the top 11. And for me, he is even above Geno Smith, but he is not above Baker Mayfield. So I have Baker Mayfield number 8, Caleb Williams number 9, and Geno Smith number 10. So Geno Smith comes in just above Kyler Murray for me in the same division.
So I love that. I mean, that's that makes sense. That makes complete sense right there. So where I got these guys is, like, to me, I asked myself the question, is Caleb Williams, like, do I like that situation better? Because I don't know how he's going to play in his rookie year, and I don't want to just assume and give him a bad grade just because he's a rookie, right? So when I'm looking at, I actually have Caleb Williams ahead of both of those guys. So I have Geno Smith as the number 10, and
Same as me.
And I just think that Baker Mayfield is a better quarterback. He's in a better situation. They brought back the offensive playmakers like Mike Evans, and that dude just spits out 1,000-yard seasons year after year after year. So I got Baker Mayfield slid in there, and I'm actually going to transition us here because I got a surprise, because I'm actually going to put Geno Smith ahead, or not Geno Smith, but Caleb Williams ahead of the 8th guy, which I'm going to put in here. And this is more of an injury thing, but my number 8 guy as a surprise is Kirk Cousins. He's the
wow.
I have him at the 8, and we're talking about the situation right here and right now. I mean, he's got that Achilles thing. I don't know if he's really going to be healed from that. They just drafted a kid, and I don't know if they really know what they're doing in Atlanta. It really kind of shook them at the core to have them even draft a quarterback after they spend 40+ million a year on Kirk Cousins. So
Right.
I don't think that they believe that he's going to be ready. So I'm putting Caleb Williams ahead of Kirk Cousins, more on the line, because I don't know if Kirk Cousins is going to make it through the season. And Caleb Williams has got a plethora of weapons. He's being dropped into a really, really good situation. So I'm going to put Kirk Cousins at 8, and Caleb Williams, I'm going to slide him in there at 7.
Wow. So you have Kirk Cousins at 8, and then you have Geno Smith or Baker Mayfield or Geno Smith.
Geno Smith is 10. Baker Mayfield 9. Kirk Cousins is 8. And then I got Caleb Williams
at number 7.
Slotted in at number 7.
All right. Well, I have Caleb Williams at 9 and Baker Mayfield at 8. At number 7, I have Brock Purdy, because I'm not sold on Brock Purdy like everyone else. That's right. I'm not sold on this guy. I mean, you could put Sam Darnold on that team like he was last year, and if Brock hadn't have beat him out, I think they would have had similar results. That's a stacked team up and down the line. Brock Purdy, he's all right. Ain't nothing wrong with him. He's good. But is he $50 million a year? I don't think so. Not yet. I haven't seen that from him. His numbers are pedestrian. He doesn't have a lot of attempts. I mean, I think I'm not sold on it. What it is this team this year. I would rather have the other 6 guys that I have ahead of him. I would rather have them on my team than Brock Purdy right now.
Wow.
So I have Brock Purdy number 7.
That is a hot take right there, man. Wow. Putting Brock Purdy there, and you're going to see why later. Holy crap. So our 7s, and you just did yours. So,
you did your 7.
I did my 7, and then I got to go back to my list right here. I got to make sure that I'm putting my right one, right foot forward there. Go ahead.
All right. So number 6 for me is Jordan Love for the Green Bay Packers. I think he's in a good situation. I think they made some moves. I like the way they upgraded their secondary with Xavier McKinney. They needed safety help bad by bringing him in. He's one of the best in the league. They also drafted a couple safeties. The Green Bay Packers have made typical Green Bay Packer moves. No big splashes, just good, solid additions, and they drafted well, just like they always do. I think Love's in a great situation. He showed the second half of the season last year. He is the real deal. I think this kid's only going to get better. I don't think he's going to regress. So I got him as the 6th best QB in the NFC right now. By next year, he could be in the top 3.
All right. I love that. Gosh, I hope that I'm not screwing this up. I know why the reasons that I'm putting this right here, but I'm going to put a guy really, really low. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this thing to you. I was checking out this number 6 quarterback for me, and I'm looking through. He's got 3,858 passing yards and 23 passing touchdowns. And he also added 605 rushing yards and added 15 touchdowns on the ground. But here's the problem, and this is why I stuck him here. Jalen Hurts.
What?
I got him at number 6 because along with those 23 passing touchdowns, he threw 15 interceptions. And along with those 15 rushing touchdowns, he fumbled the ball 9 times. So I love the production. I love what people can do on the off-platform stuff, but you saw it in the playoffs. And maybe I'm even putting him here because I'm sorry, you had Matt Patricia on your team, and we all know how that ends for everybody right there. So I got Jalen Hurts as the number 6 quarterback in the NFC.
Wow. What you're saying to me is there are 5 other quarterbacks in the NFC you would take instead of Jalen Hurts, a would you rather situation. I just can't see it, Russ, but I respect your opinion.
But here's the thing is we are talking about their current situations with what they have going on with, within their talent spot. So like, I'm not just going to take I would take Hurts in other situations, possibly, right? But I don't
guess.
know. So
I guess.
you got number 5.
Yeah, that's your call, and I respect it. Number 5 for me, Dak Prescott. If you put him on another team, I wonder if he would even rank this high. Something about Dallas and Dak Prescott, they just love him there. He puts up monster numbers, but he folds like a lawn chair in the playoffs. Just a couple of different decisions here and there, not to slide to get the first down, letting time run out. We might be having a different conversation about Dak Prescott. You can win 12 games all year, but if you can't get it done in the playoffs, you're not going to make it into the top 3 in Main Event Mike's list. So at number 5, I got Dak Prescott for the Dallas Cowboys.
And I love that call because we're actually aligned here. Like,
Okay.
We've been intertwining these things, and this was a tough decision. And when I'm looking at Dak Prescott and I'm looking at Jalen Hurts, and I had really thought about flip-flopping these guys because I really hate Dak Prescott. I'm just being honest. Like, I do not like Dak Prescott. I really wanted to hate him out of the top 5. But then really, I look at a very similar skill set, very similar kind of, you got big weapons. You got, you're trying to do this big offense thing, but Dak Prescott's just sitting there with 4,500 yards, only 7 interceptions. He doesn't turn the ball over.
Yeah.
And that was the difference between, because I had those guys slotted, 5 and 6, but that was the difference. I got Dak Prescott as my number 5 quarterback in the NFC.
Right. And I would have rated Dak higher had they still had Tony Pollard. All right. I would have rated Dak Prescott higher had they still had Dalton Schultz. But they have no one. They didn't do a thing in the offseason. We're all in, Jerry Jones says. All in what? All in on doing nothing. You did nothing. You brought back Ezekiel Elliott at 39 years old. That's your answer? They have another running back. His name starts with a D. He's a total nobody. That's all you have? And yeah, CeeDee Lamb, he's great. He's top 3, maybe top 5 in the whole league. He's good. But what else you got after that? Ferguson, the tight end, he's mid.
Right.
Michael Gallup, he's getting older and mid. They have nothing to help Dak. I would have rated Dak higher had he been in a situation like my number 4 quarterback, Kirk Cousins. I have Kirk Cousins rated number 4. And we did your number 5, right?
Yeah,
you had Dak also number 5. Right.
Yep.
I'm segueing, right? Okay. So I had Kirk Cousins.
Well done, by the way.
Thank you. You have Drake London. You have Kyle Pitts. You have Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier. You have at least a mid defense. You have a top 10 offensive line. I love this situation for Kirk Cousins. He's a very accurate quarterback. He's gritty. He's a leader. The team, everybody loves Kirk Cousins. He's the nicest guy in the world. For the rules we're using today, Russ, I got to put Kirk Cousins ahead of Dak Prescott, even though in reality he's probably not as good a quarterback as Dak Prescott. But the situation he's in Atlanta, Raheem Morris is going to be a solid coach. You mark my words on that. I think Kirk Cousins number 4 for me.
You like that? I mean, Kirk is probably ashamed of me, but Kirk, I only took you out of this spot. Like, I could see him being the number 4 quarterback in the NFC, just like you said. If he actually goes out there and he's able to utilize those weapons, just like you said. And so I do like that call. And you got to understand, when the rest of these guys, the top 4 on all these lists, these are all managing good offenses, and we're a little homer too. So but our guys managing a good offense. It's a good offense. So I had a little bit of a thing here where two very similar quarterbacks. One won a Super Bowl, and the other one is my quarterback.
It's my quarterback.
Jared Thomas, Michael W. Smith Goff. So I really just used a simple formula, and Jared Goff is 2-1 versus Matt Stafford. Beat him in a playoff game. Head up. They both got good weapons. They both got good offenses, good wide receivers, and Goff won the sling out. So I got Matt Stafford at number 3 quarterback in the NFC. I'm looking for him right
No,
now.
it was number 4 we needed from you.
Our
Number 4.
Oh, I did have. You needed my number 4, didn't you?
Yeah, but now we know who your number 3 is.
Yeah. You can go ahead and do your number 3 now. Now I got to go back in.
All right, we're gonna wait. The suspense is killing me to find out who Russell's number 4 ranked NFC quarterback is. Put it in the comments. Let us know what you got. A-Dub is here, our resident Packer fan. Great to see you back in, A-Dub. I hope you're doing well. He says he looks at Kirk Cousins and Dak being the same kind of QB, given how they play the position. Great call. But I would put Kirk higher. He agrees with me on that one. Who you got at number 4, Russ?
Well, I did that on purpose. Okay. So it just happens to be because I'm trying to give some love here. I'm trying to give some love, a little bit of love to Jordan Love. Jordan Love is my number 4 quarterback right there. I mean, you can't deny the situation. Okay. He's got 2 young tight ends. He's got a trio of really, really good wide receivers and another trio of wide receivers behind those wide receivers that are also young and learning with Jordan Love. And I mean, there he is, man. I mean, it's really hard for me to put him above, the top 3, especially my own quarterback when it comes, but I got to give the devil his due. Jordan Love, we didn't think that you were going to be anything. We all were like, yeah, whatever. You're just the tool, the guy, the in-between before Sean Clifford takes over or whatever bullshit we were trying to sling. But he came in midway through the season, slowed down a little bit for him. They started winning some games. You won a playoff game. And I think that's a nice, clever spot to stick Jordan Love. And I think it's respectful too as a rival.
4.
At number 4.
Okay, Russ. Who have you got at number 3?
and I gave that up when I did my whole segue, but I do have Matt Stafford at number 3 because I mean Jared Goff just beat him in a playoff game. I mean they went head up and so
it's my quarterback.
My quarterback won that. So
I also have Matt Stafford at number 3 as the number 3 ranked quarterback in the NFC. And, if it was a couple of years ago, he probably would have been number 1 or number 2 when Aaron Rodgers was gone. Probably one of the most talented arms the NFL's ever seen. He can make any throw, and he still can make any throw. And in this situation that he's in right now with Cooper Kupp and a young stud receiver like Puka Nacua, they just draft Blake Corum. Kyron Williams showed out last year, showed that he's a feature back. They have a nice 1-2 punch in the backfield now. Tyler Higbee, still a hole there at tight end for me. Even with his bad knee, even if he didn't have a bad knee, I don't even put him in the top half of the tight ends in this league. I know they did bring over a free agent tight end too, but Matt Stafford, that's why he's in the top 3 because he has the arm talent. He's a gritty guy. We've all loved him, right? So, yeah, I don't think there's any shame being 3, especially when you look at the 2 guys that I have ahead of him.
Beautiful. And now we're down to the final 2. And this is where, the homer in me wants them to let my quarterback be the best quarterback. I want to put him at number 1, but I couldn't do that if I'm even following my own rules. I think this is where Jared Goff slides right in here very nicely as the number 2 quarterback in the NFC. And it's just is what it is. You can like it. You can whatever you want to feel about it, but he runs a great offense. And you want to talk about a situation. You're talking about a whole bunch of skill players that are progressing all together. You got the best offensive line in football. I mean, he put up, 4,600 yards, 12 turnovers, 30 touchdowns, great running game. So Jared Goff is for this offense, he's going to do a good job. And I have him slotted as the number 2 quarterback in the NFC.
I also have Jared Goff as the number 2 quarterback in the NFC, which means you and I both have a different number 1, which is very, very interesting. You had Jordan Love at number 4. I had him at number 6. You had Caleb Williams at 7. I had him at 9.
Right.
But we run down here 3, 2. We line up Stafford and Goff. Hey, every statistical category, Jared Goff was top 5 in the entire league last year. Okay. And it should be mentioned, folks, this is just the NFC. If you look at the grand scheme, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 4 or 5 quarterbacks in the AFC that are better than all of these guys. Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson would probably rank ahead of all of these guys. And then you could look, Aaron Rodgers is there now, Justin Herbert, Deshaun Watson, CJ Stroud, Trevor Lawrence. All of these guys would rate ahead of a lot of these guys. NFC got some tough divisions, some really good teams. But at the quarterback position, it's the AFC that's got the real cream of the crop. So we're just ranking a top 10 here, NFC quarterbacks. But because we're musicians, ours go to 11. And it's time now for Russell Wayne's number 1 NFC quarterback.
So my number 1 quarterback is, and by my own rule, I had to go with this. And you had him ranked way lower, but I got to go with Brock Purdy. Wow. And the thing is I looked up the stats. I was really just trying to really look at this. For one, he went to the Super Bowl. And I'm not going to knock the guy. This is the same thing that people do to Jared Goff. I am not going to knock the guy because he has Christian McCaffrey, Brandon Ayuk, and Deebo Samuel. He had 4,200 yards. George Kittle. He's got an embarrassment of riches when it comes to offensive line and the way they've constructed that team. But the thing is, he still went out there and he still threw for 4,200 yards, 31 touchdowns, and only 11 interceptions. And he went out there and added another 2 touchdowns on the ground because he does have a little bit of wiggle when he's running the football too. Now, he did turn the ball over and fumble the ball 9 times, but he put up the numbers, and the numbers back up him being a good quarterback. I can't help it that if I throw it to Deebo Samuel, he scores. But the bottom line is he's getting the ball into the hand of his playmakers, and he went to the Super Bowl. And I can't, with a good conscience, put Jared Goff ahead of Brock Purdy when he beat him. So Brock Purdy's my number 1 quarterback in the NFC.
All right. Time now for my number 1 quarterback. Russ had my number 1 quarterback rated number 6 because we are looking at the situation they're in now, and Matt Patricia is no longer in Philadelphia. But you still got A.J. Brown. You still got Devontae Smith. You have Saquon Barkley. You have a top 5 defense, a top 3 offensive line. You're a runner. You got a cannon for an arm. I know that Russ thinks that Jalen Hurts was exposed last year, and he took a downturn from being in the Super Bowl the year before. Mm-hmm. I disagree. I think it was just a fluke. I think it was the whole team was quitting around him. Everything was falling apart. They went out to 10. They won 10 games in a row, I believe, at the start of the season last year. And then it was just, they brought in Matt Patricia, and that was the cancer that killed the team. And he's not going to be there this time. Jalen Hurts is an absolute stud. It's why they paid him $58 million a year. And he's young, strong, so strong. That tush push, as everyone hates it, I just hate saying it, but it's unstoppable. And if it's 4th and 1, you're getting it. And then you've got all those weapons. He's got a cannon of an arm. He can run. He's a hell of a leader. Nobody works harder than this guy. I would take Jalen Hurts over any quarterback in the NFC. And I hate the Philadelphia Eagles. So there it is. The top 11 quarterbacks in the NFC as my quarterback by the Villain Squad. Let's see what we got in the comments now. KC says the brotherly shove. Yeah, push tush, whatever you want to call it. Purdy at 4 over Cousins.
Took care of that thing for you.
Elise Memes is completely confused by your choice there, Russ. John says his offense is solid and had the arm. Love Stafford. Stafford was. Roy said I had to go eat dinner, but number 4 is still too high for Love. Love ended the season with the worst across the field pass in history. He's got some Dak in him. Nice. I love that. Yeah,
I mean-
Yoli in the house. What's up, Yoli? Welcome back to the program. Great to have you here. Go ahead, Russ.
Oh, I'm just like but with the Brock Purdy, like if you look at what he did, I mean, what are you supposed to do? Like we knock these quarterbacks for playing good because they have good players. Like I don't get it.
No, I'm not knocking him. I was thinking a lesser quarterback wouldn't even have made this top 11 list and still could have took that team to the Super Bowl. Colin Kaepernick did. Alex Smith did.
He put the numbers up. I mean, what do you? I mean, you put another. You think that somebody else would go in and do that better? You think Jalen Hurts would go into that system and run it better and put up better numbers than
100%,
4,200 yards? Well, he didn't do that with the guys that he's with now. He had 3,800 yards passing. So what is he?
That was last year,
right? So
right, we're talking about going into this year in this situation. I'd rather have Jalen Hurts and Philadelphia than Brock Purdy. We're ranking the quarterbacks, not the teams.
Sure. But we're also, the situations have to do with that. I mean, in my opinion, it does. I mean, gosh, if we want to get into hypotheticals, if we take Brock Purdy out and put him on a different team, I don't know how he would do, but for that current situation, he's putting up those numbers. Just like Love. I want to hate on Love. Dude comes in and goes for 4,200, and you okay?
Oh yeah, I thought I heard music.
Is it? Oh,
I thought I heard wrap up music, like we were gonna sign off.
Oh, did you?
Is it? I thought so. Oh yeah, see, there it is. There it is.
It's crazy how that works.
That's crazy how that works. Hey, man, thanks everyone for being with us. Don't forget, we are back every single Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern time for the Main Event Football Show. Be sure to look for us on wherever you get your podcasts. It's not there right now, but it's going to be very soon. Anywhere where you get your podcasts, you'll be able to hear this show. Thanks to Joe Chapp and the boys for letting us broadcast into Detroit Lions News Podcast. Be sure to follow us at Lions Villain Squad on Facebook and at Villain Squad on YouTube.